Donald Trump used his stop in Colorado on Monday to fully embrace his strategy to not pay federal taxes, allegedly, for the last 18 years. Meanwhile, a Monmouth University poll released this week shows him 11 points down in Colorado. David, this seemed to be a pretty big development because only a couple weeks ago we saw a poll that showed him almost neck and neck in Colorado. Now it seems to be back to double digits. Which part of that momentum do you believe?
He had the momentum, and he choked at the debate. We'll see if he can salvage something on Sunday. I kind of doubt it, but it's possible. Quinnipiac, which is a well-respected pollster nationally, had him ahead 9 points among independents nationally before the debate, and now he's down 2 with them. Monmouth, showing him down 11 in Colorado, is also very highly respected. 538.com, the Nate Cohn site. Sorry.
Nate Silver.
Silver, sorry. Anyway, rates him as, thank you for the interruption, by the way, it was constructive. Gives Monmouth an A+ for its methodology and its record. On the taxes, even more BS from Trump, because now he's the tax genius and everything. Well, if you read the New York Times story, the tax accountant who actually pulled this off said that when Trump and his wife came in, Trump had like very little to say, and the wife was the only one who had sort of intelligent questions. And it was quite clever, because this $916 billion loss, which he can then offset against future income, and that's understandable. If you lose money one year, then that counts against your income in future years. He didn't actually lose the money. It was personally, but it was the banks who loaned him the money that he lost it to, and then he had somebody else, a related corporation, buy up their debt for pennies on the dollar, the money they loaned him, which he lost and couldn't pay back, and then through clever tax accounting, he gets to assimilate that and treat it as his own loss. And by the way, so he's not the genius of the tax code, although his tax accountant was. And by the way, that loophole has been closed in 2002 by a bill that passed the U.S. Senate with 89 votes in favor of it, including Senator Clinton at the time.
Eric, I saw a few more ads for Trump over the last couple of weeks, but I didn't see a whole lot more for Hillary Clinton. I use that a little bit more as a gauge of if we're still a swing state or not. We still saw the different ballot issues and congressional races be able to get some air time. So is Colorado a swing state? Do we get our status back, or is it back into the Hillary column?
2 words, sort of. We're sort of a swing state. We're not at the epicenter of swing states like we've been in the last couple presidential cycles, but we're hanging around the edges of it. This electorate, there is a larger group of undecided or somewhat movable voters than we've seen in the last couple presidential cycles, simply because the overwhelming sentiment out there is we don't want to elect either of them. And as one of them gets closer, there is a pullback. So there is a body of voters out there that is in play. It trended Hillary sharply after the conventions when Trump had an awful several weeks. Then as Hillary had a rough September, it started trending toward Trump. It narrowed the race. Now after an awful debate for Trump, it is trending the other way. I still do not believe Colorado is ultimately in play. 11 might be a slightly high number, but it is closer to 11 than it is to a 50-50 race. It's somewhere in that direction. All you need to do is win the state by 1 vote in order to get all 9 electoral votes. I would be, let's put it this way, if Donald Trump walks off with Colorado's 9 electoral votes, those will not be the 9 decisive electoral votes. They will just add to some kind of national trend that is undiscernible at this particular point.
Kara, the mail-in ballots for Coloradans start going out, I think, the end of next week. So we're getting close to the point where folks can make their vote and write off this election. Is there a limited window here to boost your momentum back up if you're Donald Trump?
I don't think so. Ballots go out, mail ballots go out beginning October 17th and 10 days. Here in Colorado. I checked, my go-to, which is Nate Silver, 538, this morning, and if the election were held today, he's predicting that Hillary Clinton would win with 85.5%. Just with the polls that have been done, if it's polls only, she'd win on
85% certainty. Is that what it is?
Probability of winning.
Probability.
likelihood of winning. Thank you for clarifying that.
Or interrupting.
And interrupting. And you know, looking at the polls only, the likelihood of her winning on election day is 79%. I mean, that's Ohio has gone light blue. That could go back. Iowa has gone light blue. That could go back. Everything, I think, of course, is still in play. It's October after all, but in all, I don't see a chance for Trump being able to recover. Although we will have a great time talking about the possibilities.
We still have a few more weeks of that. Patty, do you think there's anything that is not a huge surprise to the rest of the nation that changes momentum in Colorado for Donald Trump?
Well, let's go forward. So 10 days from now, we'll get our ballots. I don't think there are a lot of people who are going to be really, really eager to check the right box. I mean, I think people will take their time on some of it. There will be some supporters on either side who might do it quickly, but everyone else is just going to be looking at it like some really smelly item in the middle of their kitchen table. But look backwards 10 days. So 2 Mondays ago, where we had that debate, the pundits nationally were busy saying Colorado was a swing state, Colorado is heated, it's neck and neck, and all of a sudden we see what a difference those 10 days have made. So Hillary blows it at the next debate, and it could swing again. If Trump does very, very well, which seems almost beyond belief, but possible, and if Hillary blows it, we could see another swing.